Welcome to Trendz Beauty Supply's Clipper Class 101, where we're going to teach you different things about clippers, the guards, the maintenancing of your clippers, and day-to-day things that you should be using to prolong your clippers. So today we're going to be showing you the different cares that we have that are provided for your clippers. And all these products that we are going to show you today, we do carry with inside our store or online at TrendzBeautySupply.com. So we start with the barber side. What the barber side is, it's a daily supplement that you use to clean your combs, your guards, that you can do overlays to sterilize your clippers. So what you do is we have this jar right here. You put 1 part of water, 4 parts of water to every 1 part of the barber side. This is super strong. So you're going to want to dilute this as much as you can, and you're still going to be able to get the same results for the sterilization that you need for your combs and your guards, as well as your clipper pieces. So now what they come up with in the time that things have revolved is that they've come up with different sprays that you can use as well, so you don't have to go ahead and manage to soak every guard or every piece that you use. So during this time, what you can do is you can spray these products onto your clippers, and what this will do, this will sterilize your clippers in between of every haircut. We also carry these at the store. So we have clipper side right here. We have a barber side. It's the same product as this. Now, clipper side is the same thing. The barber side would be more if you're going to use fur-on combs. The clipper side is going to also cool your product down. So sometimes when you are cutting hair, people know the clippers get hot. I'm pretty sure you might have been burned by a clipper before. The clipper's too sharp. This will help cool down the clipper and sterilize it in between cuts. This product will be something that you would spray on after when you're brushing your clippers off after a haircut. Then we have this one right here. This is the Cool Care. Same thing as this. Just 2 different products, but they do exactly the same thing. This right here, you have to have one of these jars. Using this jar, what it does is it has a mechanism where you can go up and down. So it allows you to pull the combs out, and it drains the combs as they're hanging out of the water. Then you just put the comb back into the solution, and it's going to re-sterilize it for you every time. We also have clipper oil, something else that people don't know that they should use. Clipper oil will stop your clippers from rusting. It also will stop your clippers from running hot because the clipper gears need oil. And we'll get to that a little bit more once I start breaking down the clippers and showing you what we have. Other products we have, neck dusters. For home care, we have the cutting edge blade. So what this does is help you to get your angles and your boxes up here. We have the barber pencil. The barber pencil allows you to get an accurate line as you go across. You can use this as a trace on a stencil. A lot of people put on their hand right here and then put on their clippers to go around so they can see what the edge up is with a line that they're creating. Straight razors. Some people cannot use straight razors because some people do get hair bumps. But most people use straight razors because what this is going to do is give you the crispiest edge. It's going to cut the hair and give you a straight line all the way across. A lot of people use this for edging or for beards or for lineups. And then we have our hair grip. For most people that have dreads or longer hair, what this is it helps to keep the hair up out of the way so it does not get cut while they are lining or going around the ears or line up in the back of your hair. So now we'll get to the fun part of the clippers that we offer and what this clipper class is going to talk to you about. So today we're going to be going over various clippers, from liners to trimmers to edgers. There is a big difference between an edger and a liner, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think they are the same one in one. No, they're not. And most popular brands that people do carry or do offer is going to be Andes, and there's also going to be some of the new companies, which is like the Blvd. And then one of the oldest companies that's been around for a long time with Andes as well is going to be Walls. Most time you go into barbershops, you do see people, they have Andes clippers and they do have wall clippers. Andes used to specialize in liners. So everybody had a liner that pertained to Andes because they were the ones that had the industrial clippers that were good for lining. But now they've kind of cut up to the rest of the world with Wall. Wall had more of the faders. So a fading tool is something that is going to fade your hair down, or if you're doing longer cuts, not something that's a ball fading, things like that. Now Wall came out with their own edger, which is called the Detailer. Was this one right here. Now I always tell people like, how do you go about buying your clippers? Well, first off, it's always good to be able to fill your clippers and put them in your hand because every clipper is a different size and does come in different various ways. So, like the detailer for me, I have a fatter hand. It's kind of a smaller clipper. This is a cordless one. Nowadays, most people do cordless clippers more than the cord because I know you've been to the barber shop. The cord's in your face sometimes. The cord's too long. It's not short enough. You wrap it around, and it ends up messing up some people's haircuts sometimes because the cord gets in the way and you couldn't nick it. And now they have the cordless. The cordlesses are a little bit more pricier, but it does the same thing. These all the detailers or outliners that we're going to be talking about right now will come with a T blade, and it will look like this. I will show you the difference. The T-blade is what it's going to be for edging. This is also used for if you want to do designs, if you want to line up your beard. So if you're at home and you just want to do a home care and you want to line up your beard, I would recommend you get a liner or edger. Now, Andy's has their edger is going to be this. There's a lot of different ones that come into. This is the newest one right here. It just came about 2 months ago. It's called the Black Label one. This right here has a mechanism that they've cut the blade out to give it more room so you're able to get around the ear for more detailing. So it also has a T-blade. If you look at it, definitely T-blade. This one has a graphite T-blade where it does cool down faster. So it doesn't have the heating problem that most of the older clippers do have. So they're upgrading as they go along with it. It's a lot lighter too as well. Now with this, if you notice, it's kind of loud. A little bit loud, kind of thing like that. I haven't really seen too much where the clippers have gotten quieter. So most of the clippers are going to kind of be about the same noise. So if you're one of the people that don't like the noise or something like that, this is something that comes with the clippers. We have another clipper, and it's GTX, and it's this one right here. A lot of people see this clipper and they wonder what's the difference between this clipper and this clipper. Not nothing much, pretty much. Besides, this one comes with guards. The GTX allows it to become from instantly from an edger to a fader. You're able to put guards on this. So this is more, once again, I would specialize this clipper being something for people that use at home. Be more of a home industrial clipper. The difference between an industrial clipper is it's more wear and tear. It's going to be something that's going to be a longevity. Yes, they do cost more up front, but you will pay less on the back end. There are some clippers that we have that are provided. There are red clippers. Well, what that is more of a home clipper. If you're at home just doing personal clipping, cutting your own hair, maybe your kids or your son's hair, I recommend you get one of those. If you're going to be cutting friends' hair, multiple people's hair, I would recommend you get an industrial clipper. So with the GTX, if you're a person that's going to want to fade and edge, I would get a GTX because it comes with the guards already. This T outliner will not come with the guards. They have the same exact blade, but this one will come with the guards. This one won't at all. Same exact clipper, looks the exact same, except this one's black and this one is gray. So then we have one of our finishing tools. And one of our finishing tools is going to be this profile. What the profile does is it cuts the hair pretty much. If you have like a bald fade, if you're a guy that has a bald head, you want to get a profile. A lot of people always wonder when you cut your hair down bald with one of these, one of the edgers, why is it so frizzy? It's still prickly. Because the little hairs, the way the clippers are set up, they won't get the little hairs off. So this profile right here has a special cutting mechanism where these blades right here work differently. Instead of you working the way up and down, these blades work inside and they run vertical like this. So it allows you to get all the knickknacks here to make your hair fully smooth, your head fully smooth. So as we pop this off, you look at this, you have the blades. Look at the blades. You probably can't see it too much, but they're working this way. Instead of working up and down vertical, they work horizontal. So what this allows you to do is a finishing tool. So anything, if you want a bald head close, people always ask that question. How can I get my hair clean cut where it doesn't feel prickly? You have to get a profile. Profiles by Andy's. We don't have any profiles by Walls. I actually don't think they carry one. So most people get the one by Andy's. It's definitely something you need in your style as a barber. Definitely something you should have. As a barber, you should always have a fader, edger, and a profile because you're going to cut different texture of hair. You're going to get multiple different haircuts. You need that for a balding tool. So now we got our finishing stuff and our edgers. Let's get to the fun part. Now, remember I said that you should always see the clipper before you buy the clipper. You should always try the clipper out because all these clippers are all going to do the same thing, but they're going to be different sizes. Some are bulkier than others, some are smaller than others. One of the things about cutting hair with clippers is that you want to make sure you have something sturdy that's in your hair. The sturdier it is in your hand, the more that you can get detail with your cut and the more crispy it will cut. So we have this one. This is the phase right now. One of the top faders on the market is by Andes. It has a built-in adjustable fader on the side where you can use the guard. So it's a movable guard. A lot of people are asking nowadays, and the question that we have when people come into the store at Trendz is, where can I get a zero guard from? Well, they kind of took the zero guard out and they put it onto the clipper. So this has adjustable level right here where you can move the clipper up and down and allows the guard to come away from the blade so that you can start fading the hair. The closer this blade is down, that's evenly with this, the closer that it's going to be for the fade, the more it's going to get to the baldness of it. The more you adjust this lever, it's going to allow you to less and get an even fade that's more noticeable for people that have longer hair. But what the fader also does come with is that these do come with guards as well in the box that it comes with. So you have about 7 to 8 guards that is going to come with, various different guards depending on how length of the length of the hair that you're going to be cutting. They have this in Andes. The fader that we carry is going to be the senior. Now this senior comes in multiple difference, just like this Fade Master does. We have a low-end Fade Master and a high-end Fade Master. The low-end Fade Master is going to be pretty much your basic clipper. It's still a good clipper. It just doesn't have a lot of different features like the Phase 5 does have. So what the Phase 5 Master has that regular Fade Master doesn't have is that they are both cordless. They are still pretty bulky. Like this is a pretty bulky clipper. So in your hand, you want to feel the weight out, feel the bulkiness of it. But what this one does, it comes with that graphite and that carbon blade, where it's going to be cooler, has a longer battery life that's going to be than the other Fade Master has. Not saying it's a different clipper, just a more upgraded clipper. Then we have our Babless one. This is my Babless fit right here. It also has the adjustable guard that's built in, just like this. A little bit bulkier of a clipper. It's more of a circle clipper. This one is more of a box clipper. I tell people when I show them at the store, put them in your hand, feel them. Let's turn them on, see how it sounds, different things like that. This one's way louder than you would see than this one is. This clipper is way louder than the Babyliss clipper. And they look at the Magic clipper, way more silent. These were kind of like the Rolls Royces of the clipper world for a long time, with wall clippers. Like I said, Andes and them have caught up a lot. Babyliss is a new clipper that's kind of come around, that's been around for a couple of years. They're very good too. A lot of things that I have noticed about the Babyliss clippers more than the wall and the Andes clippers is that these are easier to find guards. These are easier to find pieces for them. Babyliss is more, we have to go directly to the company to get replacement guards and things like that. We don't necessarily carry the replacement guards. But these two walls and Andes, very easy clipper. They're more easier to find the pieces for them. If you need replacement blades, things like that. So I definitely recommend people looking into things like that too when you're buying clippers. Remember, you're gonna need guards. You might need a replacement charger cord, things like that. Do a little research on the clippers before you actually purchase them. Okay, just because you want to be able to find everything within where you live at or online that's not pricey, where you can go ahead and replace your clippers or fix it at any time. Most of these clippers do have warranties on them. If you do buy a clipper, you should be able to call the company or go ahead and email the company, go onto their website and see what the return policy is. Most of them do have lifetime policies, but I also would check for that. That's another thing when you want to buy clippers that you should look into. But senior cordless, like I said, listen to the sound of it. Not as loud, pretty good. Now this one, loud. This is a louder clipper, like louder clipper. But does have the best battery life out of all three clippers. This one is the best battery life. The wall clip, the Magic Clip Senior, is actually the lightest clipper out of these three. Like I said, check them out. They all do have that adjustable lever on the clipper right here. These also do come with guards. If you are buying these clippers, they should come with a pack of guards. It should be anywhere from a 4-pack to 8-pack of guards. The guards will be listed. A lot of people are looking for that zero guard. Once again, I expressed to you guys that they're putting them on here, so they're not really giving you that zero guard that you're looking for in the packages. We do have wall guards that we do carry, which are these. These wall guards right here are magnetic guards. The magnetic guards are good because they don't allow it to slide off. You know, sometimes the back of the guard piece gets broke and it doesn't work no more. With the magnetic guards, they kind of taking that out for you so you don't have to worry about that problem. Now, these are universal, but they're universal for walls. I haven't really seen a universal guard that's for all three of these products. So the thing is, once you lose, if you do lose a guard or break a guard, I will recommend you guys going to the website to look that up to see where you can get these pieces from. Most people will not carry the regular guards for them. You'd have to go online and see. Basic maintenance about this. And we're going to talk about the clippers a little more. So, have a paper. And this paper will be able to be picked up at Trendz Beauty Supply. We do have it in the front. We have a lot of these printed out. And this kind of goes over what all the clippers do. And then on the back, we have one of our nice, beautiful people that put this together. They put everything on the back what the clipper side does. They put the product, what's in them, what happens, what you can do with them, and everything like that. So the purpose of the clipper is pretty much just to cut hair. So depending on what you're doing, how long the hair is, you have to adjust to what the clipper does. You can't have an outliner and try to cut thick hair. You're gonna break the clipper. So you're supposed to use a fader and cut the hair down as you go. And then the shorter you have, once you get the hair to a shorter length, a more manageable length, then you cut it. Like the Profoil. The Profoil, you could never use this to cut long hair. It's once the hair is at the shortest form, that's when you use a Profoil. If you do try to cut this with long hair, you end up breaking the clipper. So every clipper does do a purpose for what you're doing. So like I said, if you're a guy that's bald, you want to shave your hair first, and then you want to use this. If your person has longer hair, and the guards will tell you that like there's a guard, there's a 1, there's a 2. That just tells you the level of how you're going to cut the hair down. Once you start cutting the hair down, that's when you get into using different things. An edger is something that you could use to cut hair bald if you wanted to, but if you're going to use any fading, you would have to get that GTO. The GTX. You would have to have a guard to fade the hair. If you are a person that is getting into the barber world that's just starting, I recommend you just getting a low-end clippers and then see how they work with those, and then get some higher-end clippers. This is what I was saying about the gear loop. In this shaft right here, it moves. It moves. You have to make sure that this is oiled or this will not move. If this does not move, it could break your clipper blade and seize up to where the clippers won't work at all anymore. Then what you want to do is you want to take this clipper piece off. You also want to dust the hair out. These are okay. You can put these into your barber side and let them soak. They're not going to rust. Just make sure that you're not leaving them in there for a long, extensive period of time. Take them off, dry them off, make sure they're clean. But also, like I said, in between cuts, if I need to use this and cutting, I can take this out. I can spray real quick, take my brush it out, and this is good. Once it dries, it's good for the next customer, for the next client for the day. I can go ahead about my business. So the thing about handling the clippers, maintenancing is one of the main parts a lot of clippers don't break, because when you cut the hair gets built up and stored in these grooves and back with the clippers. You have to clean that part out. That could be a reason that your clippers could be shorting, overheating, or not working. So it is a maintenance to it, and that's why we're here to show you guys the clipper maintenance and go over the different things that we provide so you guys can get the job done and be more efficient in your profession. So one of the best things, like I said, is maintenance in the clippers. Maintenance in the clippers is longevity in your clippers. So with this right here, with this class sheet that we have with Clippers 101, it breaks it down to basically the basic necessities that you need, and breaks down to what each clipper does. Exactly with the products that we offer you too as well. So types of clippers. Purpose for the clipper is also obviously to cut the hair. But now, like I said, you have to know what hair you're cutting. If you're fading, you need a fader. If you're edging, you need an edger. There are barber combos that I always recommend people to get. It comes with a fader and it comes with a liner. And what that allows you to do is that kills two birds with one stone. Because once you get done fading, you're going to need to line up your lineup, your edges, your beard, the back of your neck. You always want to line that up, right? Valuable question that was asked from the audience was, can you use these clippers on your legs, your private areas, things like that? I would say no. I wouldn't recommend that. Legs, maybe, but you will still have the prickliness of the hair because it wouldn't cut all the way down. So what I recommend is that they have a new clipper that's called, it's for your body and grooming. What this does with the body and grooming is that this has a plastic blade. It's not a metal blade. The plastic blade will not cut you. The metal blade will. So that's why I never recommend anybody using any kind of clipper that's metal on any kind of private area or your legs, just because of the way the clipper does cut. If you do cut the wrong way, it could pull the hair and cause irritation in certain places. So they came out with this one, and this one has a plastic blade. It's called a body and grooming one. We carry it. It's by Andy's. It's actually one of the new things that's been on the market. And this has a plastic blade. The plastic blade won't cut you. And that's the whole purpose of the plastic blade, because it won't cut or overheat. So it won't burn you as well. Once again, like I said, the clippers that do have the metal blades, they do tend to overheat. So that's one of the questions that somebody in the audience did say, is that, can you use these on your legs, your private areas, your arms, things like that? I wouldn't recommend it. You could, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would get one that had a plastic blade, or any clipper that has a plastic blade. That'd be something that you use for body grooming yourself. Another thing also is neck strips. We do carry these. Neck strips, what this allows you to do, because this is something that most barbers, you see them, they put them on your neck when you're done. What he also does is that once he's done, he wraps it around his finger, and he does put alcohol, or he does put something on it, on the neck strip, and he wipes it across your edges, wherever he did the lineup at. He wipes on the back of your neck. And what that does is supposed to sanitize the cut area and help it so that you don't get any razor bumps and things like that. If you are getting razor bumps, sometimes people have irritation. Like me personally, I can't shave with a shaver. I will get hair bumps. I have to shave with a clipper. Some people, some areas, underneath their necks and stuff like that, they probably can't shave with a clipper because it irritates them. So that's that way you can get hair bumps too. So anytime you have that problem, there is aftershave that you can use and put on there to help those bumps. Also, we do carry things like a barber vest. What this is not as much as a barber cape. It's just a barber vest. So it has the arms cut out, allows for a little bit more airiness, the flowness, but also does have pockets where you can keep stuff in your pockets and things if you need that. Also want a cape. This cape is the person that goes on the customer or the person's hair that you're cutting, your kid, customer, anything like that. And what this does, it just protects them from getting the hair on them as well. And then for our women stylists, it is more of an apron. Same thing. You have your shears. If you're cutting hair, you have your shears in there. You have different things in your pockets. It has a pocket for you too as well. Yes, sir. Okay. Good question. So one of the questions that he asked was, how do I know the longevity of a clipper? Well, the longevity is based on how you take care of the clippers, honestly. I can't say this clipper is going to work for you for a lifetime. I can't. I've had Andes and I've had my one T liners that I've had. I have the core ones that I've had for so long. I had them for about 8 years, but I don't use them as much. If it's something that you use as much, you're looking at a running time maybe anywhere from a year to 3 years, depending on how much you cut. But it's also about the care that you do keep your clippers in. Yes, good question. Yes, you can. So one of the questions that they asked was, can you use these on women's hair? Yes, you can use them on women's hair. You can use these clippers on women's hair too. You can use them on your animals if you wanted to as well. That is a good question, man. You can use them on your animals. The thing is with the animals, they might not like the noise of it. And I also would probably get the plastic blade. I wouldn't use the metal blade on them just because their hair might be a little different. It might pull it. I would use the plastic blade and just be more sensitive to their skin. And the plastic blade seems to not be as noisy as the rest of the clippers are as well. So dealing with the animal or dog like that, you probably want to use more of a plastic blade clipper just so that they don't get the irritation. So clippers. The purpose of a clipper is generally cut off the hair bulk remover. Use. Ideal for large, bulkier cuts, trimming the hair down to a short length. Popular in barbershops for fade and overall shaping. So once again, this is probably what you're going to start with. You're usually going to start with one of your faders. You're going to get the hair down to a certain length that you want it to be, and then you're going to go ahead and start fading it, and then after that, you'll go and start lining it up. So trimmers. This purpose is for detailing, edging, or precise cutting. Use perfect for close work around the ears, neckline, sideburns. Trimmers offer create a clean finish for the hairline. So that's kind of what a trimmer is broke down into a general form of what it's supposed to do. And then we have the faders. The purpose is cutting a smooth transition between different lengths, particularly in a fade cuts. So anything you're doing, if you're doing a shallow fade, if you're doing a Caesar, things like that, certain names that people call the fades, that's what you would be using would be a fader. Now the liners and the trimmer, like I said, they're kind of go hand in hand. They work hand in hand as well as a fader. You need pretty much all three of those clippers. Some of these clippers are 2-in-1. Like I showed you the GTX. That's a 2-in-1 clipper. It's a fader, and it's also an edger because it has that T-blade. Any T-blade, any liner has a T-blade, it's going to be a liner. If you have a T-blade on your clipper, it's for lining. It's for that closeness, that niceness, that detailing. If you want to do a design in your hair, that's going to be the blade you're gonna use. You see the fader blade, it's kind of bulky. Like it's no way that you're going to be able to line up and go around. That's not what that's meant for. These liners with these T-blades, smaller, more precise, a little bit sharper, has a way you can get around the ears, you can come around, turn it, different things like that. This is what you're going to be using for that. Then you have your straight razor. The straight razor's purpose is the shaping, defining, and shaving, and also for detailing. So when you go ahead and once you've hit it with your edger, if you're doing a design either way, you come back with your straight razor. And what this is going to do is get pretty much all the rest of the hair that's any way that you missed or nicked. And it's going to define your lines and make them pop a little more, make them crispier. Why is maintenance so important? Okay, this was a question that a gentleman had asked earlier, but I told him we were going to get to it in the clipper class. Why is maintenance so important? Because it prolongs the lifespan of the clipper. Just like maintenance in your car, oil change, things like that. Same thing with clippers. You have to be changing the blades. When the blades get dull, you can change them or you can have them sharpened. If you are going to have to be somebody that's going to be sharpening your blades, please make sure that you're not sharpening the blades too close, because once the blade does get hot and it is sharpened, it does turn into a cutting tool. So it will cut the person. It leaves nicks on their head, on their forehead, anywhere that it is cut, because it is super hot and super extremely sharp. Plus, what's going to have with maintenance your clippers, it also prevents infection, because part of maintaining the clippers is cleaning the clippers. It's putting the clipper in the barber side or the clipper side. Make sure you're spraying on them. Make sure you're getting the hair out of the creases, because different people's texture, different people's heads. Some people have dandruff, some people don't. It's just something that you want to make sure that you're cleaning and make sure that you're maintaining your tools so that it can work properly. And then also it ensures the effective performance is optimal cutting. So it's gonna give you the best performance when you do have these other products, to make sure that you are sterilizing and cleaning your stuff. At least I would say, depending on how many times you're cutting your hair, once a day, once at night, once every 2 days. Just make sure that you're getting them clean. Depending on the heads that you're cutting, you're gonna see your clippers getting duller. You're gonna see your clippers getting dirty, things like that. The hair clogged in. So you want to make sure you're doing that. So now break it down a little bit more into depth about the clipper side. Disinfects the blades and motor after use. Using clipper side kills bacteria and viruses. Properly applying clipper side to the blade for the maximum effectiveness. So you want to make sure that you are reading this on the back on how to apply this. Make sure that you're not applying too much. Make sure that you are brushing it. But this is going to be something that is going to disinfect your clippers while you're using it. It's not being a tool that you have to soak it in or anything like that. It's going to be used while you're in use of using your clippers. These two products, or really these three products, because this one's just an aerosol. So this one's an aerosol can. It's the same thing as these. Just once again, it allows you to use in use. Like in the middle of clipping, say your clipper is getting hot or something like that, you need to sterile in between your appointments. You can spray this. So you don't have to detach your clipper and soak it in the barber side. You can spray this on there. Barber side rolls is just to disinfect the clippers, the combs, and other tools that you use within your barbershop. So whether it's a hair comb, whether it is a barber blade, whether it is your straight razor, you can put all of that into the clipper side and allow that to be sterile. So common mistakes, common mistakes to avoid when maintaining your clippers: using too much oil or leaving hair inside the clippers. So when I say hair inside the clippers, once again, it's taking this plate off. There's another plate that's in here. There's usually hair that builds up in there. Forgetting to clean your blades after every use. You want to at least be using a brush to brush your clippers out and make sure that you're getting the hair out of the grooves after every use. That's something that you want to make sure that you're doing. Also, using a clipper for uses that is not designed for. And that's once again, that's knowing what each clipper does and the length that you're using it. If the hair is super, super long, I wouldn't use a clipper like a fader. I would use scissors first to cut the hair down to the size, to the length that I want it to be. Then use my fader, and then go ahead and use my trimmer and my edger as I grind the hair down to the desired that I want it to be at. If you're not doing that, your clippers could break down. Longer hair could get tangled in the clippers and break your clipper at one time. Like I said, these are to cut hair, but there are proper steps that you need. Your hair is more than 6 inches. I would definitely use scissors first, cut it down to about the desired length, about 4 to 2 inches. Then start with my fader, cut it down, and then go from there. When placing blades in other parts, when to replace the blades? What you say, ma'am? Yes. Okay. So I wouldn't particularly allow a kid to use the clippers because they are. And I'm sorry. Her question was, what is a good age to use the clippers at? It's all up to your discretion of how old your kid is and if they're properly can use the clippers and responsibly. That's the thing. You can still cut yourself with these clippers. You could cut yourself. You could cut yourself till you're bleeding, things like that. So you still want to make sure that you're monitoring your kids if you're letting them use the clippers, or go through them properly. Let them go through it properly and let them see how to properly use the clippers. Because, like I said, it's still a danger if the kid is too young and doesn't know properly how to use it. So the thing about that is, with the clippers, this is pretty much what we've gone over today's class in the Clippers 101 and Trendz Beauty Supply. This is going to be on our YouTube. We are located at 4301 Menaul Boulevard, 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday. You can come and see any of these products. We do have people here that are knowledgeable of these products. They can go over with you, talk to you a little bit more in depth, break the products down. We do have more clippers that we didn't showcase today that are there. Some of that are not the industrial clippers that are more for commercial use only that you're going to use it at home. But all this will be uploaded to our YouTube. You're more likely to check that out. Also, like I said, come in. We'll have some of these at the front, and this will do with Clipper Class 101. It breaks down exactly what we went over in today's class and breaks down a little bit more in depth if you want to know more things. Other than that, shout out Trendz Beauty Supply. You know, we set the trends already.